Have you noticed something strange about the 2026 FIFA World Cup? For the first time ever, the tournament is getting so big that even many football fans have no idea how it actually works. More teams, more matches, more countries, and somehow, more confusion. So if you've heard people talking about a 48-team World Cup and thought, wait, what happened to 32 teams? Don't worry. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain the entire FIFA World Cup 2026 format in the simplest way possible, and trust me, one part of this format surprises almost everyone. Let's get into it. First, the biggest change. The World Cup is expanding. For the last several tournaments, the World Cup had 32 teams. Simple enough. But in 2026, FIFA decided that wasn't enough. Now there will be 48 teams. That's 16 extra countries. More nations get a chance to participate, more fans get involved, more matches get played, and probably more people arguing online. Honestly, that's almost guaranteed. But here's where it gets interesting. Adding 16 extra teams creates a problem. How do you fit 48 teams into one tournament without turning it into complete chaos? Well, FIFA came up with a new structure, and this is where things start getting confusing. In the old format, there were 8 groups, and each group had 4 teams. Now there are 12 groups, still 4 teams per group, but now there are 12 of them instead of 8. Think of it like adding 4 extra classrooms to a school. The students are still divided into groups, there are just more groups overall. Each team plays 3 group stage matches, one against every other team in their group. Win a match and get points. Draw a match and get fewer points. Lose a match and get disappointment. Football can be cruel sometimes. After those 3 matches, teams are ranked inside their group, and that's where the next big change appears. Normally, the top 2 teams from each group advance. That's easy. But let's do the math. 12 groups means 24 teams qualify if only the top 2 go through. The problem is that a knockout tournament works best with numbers like 16, 32, or 64, not 24. So FIFA found another solution. The top 2 teams from each group qualify, giving us 24 teams. Then the 8 best third-place teams also qualify. That gives us 32 teams total, and suddenly everything fits. In theory, this sounds simple. In practice, fans are going to spend hours calculating third-place scenarios. You know the type. People making spreadsheets at midnight because their team needs exactly 1 goal to qualify. Every World Cup has them, and now there will be even more. This leads to the biggest difference from previous World Cups. Before, the group stage led directly to the round of 16. Not anymore. Now teams enter a brand new round of 32, which means more knockout games, more drama, more upsets, and more opportunities for giant football nations to embarrass themselves. That's happened before, and it will definitely happen again. Once the round of 32 is complete, the tournament continues normally with the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, the third-place match, and finally the final. Simple, at least compared to everything before it. So why did FIFA do this? Good question. Officially, FIFA says the expansion gives more countries a chance to play on the world's biggest stage, and honestly, that's true. More nations from Africa, more nations from Asia, more nations from North America, and more representation overall. For many countries, reaching the World Cup used to feel almost impossible. Now the door is a little wider. But let's be honest, more teams also means more matches. More matches means more viewers, and more viewers means more money. This sounds simple, but it isn't. There are sporting reasons, there are business reasons, and both are probably part of the answer. Now here's where people usually raise an eyebrow. The 2022 World Cup had 64 matches. The 2026 World Cup will have 104 matches. Yes, 104. That's a huge jump, almost like FIFA looked at the old tournament and said, what if we made it much bigger? And then actually did it. For fans, that's more football. For players, that's more games. For broadcasters, that's more content. Everybody wins, well, except maybe tired defenders. If you forget everything else from this video, remember this. The 2026 World Cup is basically the old World Cup, but larger. More teams, more groups, more countries qualifying, an extra knockout round, and a lot more matches. That's really the entire idea. The structure looks intimidating at first, but once you break it down, it's surprisingly straightforward. So let's go back to the question we started with. Why is everyone confused about the 2026 World Cup? Because whenever FIFA changes something this big, it looks complicated. But underneath all the new numbers and new rounds, the goal is still exactly the same. Win your matches, advance through the tournament, and try to become world champions. Only now, there are 47 other teams trying to do the same thing. And that's what could make the 2026 World Cup one of the most unpredictable tournaments we've ever seen. Will the expanded format create more surprises, or will the biggest football nations continue to dominate? We'll find out soon enough. If this video helped you finally understand the 2026 World Cup format, make sure to subscribe for more simple sports explainers that turn confusing topics into something anyone can understand.